everybody, this is Steve with Smitty's Flybox. Today we're tying a little tungsten caddis nymph that I really like in the summer as a dropper. So I'm using these tungsten nymph eyes. It's a bead head with little nubs. They give it a pretty cool profile. So we'll just start our thread, lay down a nice little layer of thread, and then clip off our excess. And then I'm going to come up here behind the bead and just start laying down some thread, just a little thread base really tight up under the bead. See how that head's kind of spinning. Just build a small little taper. We'll build up some material there too as well. And then let's just add a little bit of glue down in there and help lock that in place. Make sure that bead's sitting how we like it. And then we'll let that kick for a second while we get everything else ready. So for the first thing, what we'll do is we'll put a tail in there. So I've used some, all I'm gonna do is put some few strands of this yarn. So I just need 4 or 5 strands. I'm gonna lay those right on top of the hook and just gather those. And then just lay that really tight along the top of the hook. And we'll tie those down all the way around the bend of the hook. Down pretty far. I like that pretty far. That looks pretty good, and we'll return our thread right back up to the top. All right, now we can just snip these off. So now we're going to tie in the ribbing. So I have some monoline here from Unithread. It works really well on small midges and nymphs. And I'm taking one strand here, and we're going to just tie that in along the side of the hook facing us. We'll tie that down to the base of the tail, right in there, and then let's return our thread. So we're just trying to build a nice, even tapered underbody like that. And now for the flashback, we're going to use this Mylar flashback. It works perfect for any sort of flashback nymph that you're tying. So we'll lay that again right on top like that, and we'll tie that down right along the top, trying to keep that right on top nice and flat as we go all the way down to the base of the tail. Let's start dubbing from the back and just trying to create a nice tapered body, getting a little bit thicker as we work our way up the hook shank. And that looks pretty good. I could add a little bit more right there. All right, I do have a small little space there behind the bead that I've left just for this little bit of ostrich herl that I'm going to tie in. So you can use dubbing here, but we're going to use this little natural ostrich that'll give it a little kind of a two-tone collar there. So I've just tied that down, and I'm just leaving almost like a bead length space there that I can wrap this. So let's just make a couple of good turns there with this ostrich right up to just behind the bead. And now we can hold that with our right hand, drop our thread over with our left hand a couple of good times there. Like that. All right, now we'll lay the, we're gonna bring that over the top like that. I like to just brush some of that ostrich back. Now I can lay that flash right up in there and tie that down right behind the bead. And we'll snip that off. And finally, we'll take our monoline and we're gonna rib this through everything. And this is just gonna really tighten everything down and give it a segmented look and help blend everything together. And we'll come right there. And now we'll tie off the mono right there in the same spot. And we'll come in here and build a nice little collar and tie everything down right behind that bead. And now we can whip finish. And I like to come back and just hit that a little bit with a little more super glue just on those thread wraps. And this has been a pretty solid little caddis nymph that I use in the summertime.